Okay, tonight I saw Gravity. Now, how do I explain gravity? Well, gravity is what keeps you down to Earth. Okay, we're not going to do that. No. Okay, so this is basically, along with Prisoners, the start to the awards season of the year for 2013. And as far as I can tell, Gravity is a really, really good movie. For some reason, and I might have to watch it again before I figure this out, there were a couple of things about it that I just didn't really like. But then again, I think this all comes down to personal preference. Anyway, so let's take a look here at the basic plot for the movie. Okay, so we have Sandra Bullock, who's this Dr. Ryan Stone, and we've also got this guy, Matt Kowalski, who's George Clooney, and they're both astronauts, and they're out in space doing a spacewalk on their shuttle called Explorer, and they're just basically doing space stuff. It's all a lot of stuff that I personally don't understand. I'm interested in it, but I just don't comprehend every last big vocab word they use that I'm not necessarily using in my everyday vernacular. So then all of a sudden they get news that I believe it's a Soviet missile test or something, that they're shooting their satellite or something. They shoot their satellite or something, and the debris from that gets caught in the Earth's orbit, and it's slowly going down toward Earth, and Mission Control figures out it's coming right for Explorer. So they're forced to abort the mission. There's also this kind of Russian cosmonaut guy that's with them, and well, not to spoil anything, but things don't go so well for him, and we're left with Kowalski and Stone as they are basically on their own. They figure out that the Explorer is not going to work anymore, it's non-functional, and they're left with space, which means no gravity. And there's a few other things in the movie, a couple of really nice surprises in the plot that I'm not gonna spoil for you, so I'm gonna leave it at that. Okay, let's talk about the good first. The good, obviously, when it comes down to it, is gonna be the acting. Sandra Bullock and George Clooney, when Alfonso Cuarón, I believe is how you pronounce it, picked out the cast for this movie, I think he went with two extremely intelligent choices. I mean, both have two things going for them. Number one, they both have an Academy Award for acting, and number two, they both have huge charisma and star power. So they have the guts and they have the glory for these roles. And for the guts, they have the acting ability. They have whatever it takes to bring these two characters to life and to make them absolutely investing. We invest in them, I mean. As you can tell, I'm not scripted here. And they have the glory, as I said earlier, that George Clooney is basically going to make any girl in the audience swoon over him as soon as he's on screen. And Sandra Bullock also has a lot of charisma after her great performances in like romantic comedies and stuff from the early 2000s and before. And now after like The Blind Side a few years ago, now she's, got this drama stuff going for her. The same way that, Julia Roberts did back in the day. Anyways, but both do a great, great job in their roles. And Bullock is given more of the leading role here. She certainly has some parts where, a lot of the movie just relies on her, and she's able to carry it. So, in that respect, yeah, absolutely. Another thing, the special effects and the computer effects and everything look outstanding. This movie has a lot invested into its visual aspect, and it has to. We have to believe this is space. We have to believe this is all happening. We have to believe that these big space stations are around, and these big shuttles are around, and when everything goes to hell, when the big spacewalk mission has to be aborted, and when everything is just going to pieces around these characters. Yeah, we believe it. We absolutely believe it. And this visual effects, the special effects, are masterfully crafted. And then another great thing, of course, is the cinematography. Now this is interesting. You could probably, in this movie, count the number of shots and the number of cuts they make. I wouldn't be surprised if the number's under 50. Seriously, that first shot, I think with the way the camera moves, if you haven't seen it yet, you've seen this review, and you're seeing this review, go in to the movie, and I want you to time the first shot. Now, if you know what a shot is, it means basically how long does the camera go before they cut to something, before it changes a little bit. Because the camera follows the characters. I swear, it had been a solid 13 minutes at least. And we rarely see something like that. That takes a lot of craft, and it takes certainly a lot of skill to be able to pull that off, and Cuarón does it absolutely great. Otherwise, cinematography captures everything just right. The lighting is perfect, even in space, and oh yeah, there's a whole lot of stuff that really is really well handled. Another great thing, of course, is the musical score. I don't know the name of the composer, but the music adds a layer of depth into it that really charges things up. We feel the inspiring music and all that. It's there. And there's a lot of cool stuff about that. But anyways, another great thing is the writing. The screenplay is surprisingly strong. We get to know these two characters, Kowalski and Stone, quite well. We feel like they're everyday people, not just astronauts that we find in space when we first watch the movie. We feel like we want to know them, and we do know them even when they're on Earth. And we don't see them on Earth, technically, but for the main frame of the movie at least. But certainly, we feel like we know these people. We feel like they're everyday people that are here, around us. Yeah, it's all there. It's all there. And that's great. And the dialogue is well crafted. Of course, Sandra Bullock gets the best line of the movie. Something significant happens, and it's in the negative, and she says, "I hate space." Best line in the movie. Great line. Great line. A lot of people are comparing this to 2001: A Space Odyssey, and the way the visual effects just totally staple the movie together, and I don't mean that in a bad way, I mean that in a good way. That they are the thing here that's on display that can definitely be noticed, but we also notice a lot of other aspects in it. Like 2001 also had a good story to it, and a few twists and turns in the plot, and Gravity certainly has that as well. So for that aspect, oh yeah, this gets a lot of appreciation points, for me anyways, for being differential from 2001: A Space Odyssey. But also just being a great sci-fi film. Okay, anything I didn't like? I think the pace of the movie was well crafted, and it was certainly something, but I felt like it was just overall kind of quick. Not in the way of the runtime is really quick, because it is, but I mean, everything is on at a breakneck speed. And there's a couple of times where, Kowalski is saying, "Wow, look at the beauty of the planet," and yeah, there are a few shots where, oh yeah, we look at this thing from this view, and we believe we're in space. We believe that we're looking down on Earth, and yeah, the view is just spectacular, and absolutely everything is just wonderful. And I feel like we get that a couple of times, and we could have used it at least one or two more times. To really help in the scale of this. Like, kind of like in Jurassic Park, that moment of awe when we first saw the dinosaurs, or E.T., that moment of awe when we saw E.T. for the first time and he was real, he was there. The moment of awe we get from, I know I'm quoting a lot of Spielberg movies, the moment of awe we get in, oh Lord, I just had it. Close Encounters of the Third Kind, when the spaceships are there, that moment of awe, just that moment where we just kind of suspend, our imaginations for a second. We're just like, look at that. Gravity has its views of Earth, and its point of views of looking on Earth really are breathtaking. And I feel like we could use maybe one or two more of those, added in maybe a scene or two to make it more, give it a little bit more depth as far as just the awe of look around you. And there's actually a key part of Stone's character that might suggest that maybe she should just slow down. Maybe she should just take into account that she's probably, if she makes it home, she is probably never going to go back to space like ever. So while you're here, enjoy it. And there's a certain aspect of her character that would back that up, and I'm not going to tell you what it is, but I felt like maybe, she should have done it. She should have just said, wow, look at that, and then we see the Earth maybe one more time, without making the pace slow down. I think it would have helped bring that moment of awe out, and it would have added overall to the aspect of the production. I'll tell you what, though, the one thing about this movie that kind of, for me, didn't make me watch the trailer 5,000 times before I saw it, like movies like, like Dark Knight Rises or something, where the anticipation was just there, was there's been a lot of movies like this recently. There was like Buried a few years ago with Ryan Reynolds, where it was just him in a coffin for an hour and a half, and that worked. Gravity works too, don't get me wrong, but Buried worked. It gives you that state of panic, it gives you that state, and Gravity does too, it gives you that state, both films give you that state of panic of, we're on our own, and that's a great feeling, technically, it's a great moment when we get those feelings, and then we see them expressed through the characters. I'm trying to think. Wasn't there another one? There was another one kind of more recently, but I can't think of. Oh yeah, that 127 hours. Yeah, another moment. Yeah, where there's that state of panic where where James Franco falls through and he gets stuck. And And a lot of people are really comparing Gravity to 127 Hours. Both, I think, are great films, and both have great leading performances from them and great leading characters from them. Eric Ralston, I believe, is the name of the guy who actually got his arm stuck in the rock. And James Franco just expresses through that brilliantly. And both performances from him and Bullock absolutely get, I think Bullock, at this point is a lock for a Best Actress nomination. And Clooney, I think, really could push it, and he could get a nomination for Supporting Actor. I'm going to say it right now, that both of them deserve a spot from what I've seen. And from what I've seen, God, it's a really, really loose field, because I have not seen a whole lot that's deserving of an Academy Award. But as far as leading performances go, okay, Bullock, I don't think, if she's nominated for an Oscar, I don't think she's going to win. If also nominated, and of course in my perfect world, Shailene Woodley from Spectacular Now, I think that's going to be a performance that's going to go on, even if it's not nominated for an Oscar or even a Golden Globe or anything, it's going to go on. I think people are going to, once people see that movie, I think her performance is going to go on, and it's going to be looked at as something as just incredible. And a really tough performance on her part. Let's see. Leading actress performances that I've seen that would really qualify for an Oscar. I haven't seen a whole lot of other stuff, but I've heard that Cate Blanchett in Blue Valentine is Blue Valentine, isn't that it? Isn't that the name of the Woody Allen one? Blue Valentine, that sounds right. Okay, I might, or Blue Jasmine, that's it, Jasmine, because Blue Valentine was a different one, yeah. All these blue stuff. But Blue Jasmine is the name of that one, Woody Allen picture, and people are saying Cate Blanchett, and from the looks of the trailer that I did see, yes, she looks like she could certainly be a lock at this point. I've heard a lot of great stuff about Meryl Streep in the Osage or Osage County. I'm not sure. We're gonna go Osage County. There was one other one. Oh wait, Amy Adams in American Hustle might also be a good contender for that. Now, supporting actor, what I have seen, and this might be just a shout out because Indiana Jones is in a movie this year, Harrison Ford. I recently saw the 42 movie about Jackie Robinson, and his performance and his character are exactly, if that movie had been released not in April but in like right now in October, Harrison Ford would be pushing for an Academy Award nomination. I think he would get it. His character is just something right out of an Oscar-nominated movie, and yeah, I think Harrison Ford pulls it off. Oh boy, let's see. Lee Daniels, the Butler. I've been hearing about a few rumblings of possible nominations for a possible nomination. Just one for that David. Oh, I wouldn't even know how to pronounce his last name, but the son character from The Butler also has a smaller chance right now of getting an Oscar nom. But yeah, Clooney right now is, from what I've seen actually of the Oscar potential movies, and just movies overall, I think he's leading the pack right now. But certainly Clooney and Bullock will get awards attention. That's for sure. And Cuarón, I think, for director, he certainly directs the movie with extreme intelligence. He knows exactly when we got to move on from this thing to that thing. He knows exactly when to cut. He knows exactly when to have that line of dialogue or move the story forward psychologically for these characters. You know, and that's certainly it. But with these Survivor movies, since I'm way off topic now, Bullock is left a great deal of the time, actually, on her own in the film, and Clooney gets a few moments there, too, where he's like that. And in these movies, you know, after all, you just feel like you have to cut to something, you know? There has to be some interaction, and not to spoil anything, eventually there is. But you just feel like, come on, you know, I like her character, Sandra Bullock, and she doesn't look too bad, speaking. But I mean, after a while, you just have to cut to something. You know, you have to find something else, find another niche that you can get in there. And overall, I think that kind of brings my rating down. So my rating might not be as high as yours, but personally, these Survivor on your own movies, after a while, I just say, okay. Now we have to have something. Now we have to have something. Okay, she's been the only person on camera for half an hour, maybe not that long, but you know, she's the only character we've interacted with here for 20 minutes, you know, or whatever the length may be. I didn't keep track of that, but yeah, I just feel like overall it's a neat way to tell a story when you don't have a whole lot of characters on screen, but. You know, after a while, I just get sick of it. But that's me. Maybe that's not you. So overall, that's going to bring my rating down. So my rating might be lowballing some of you. But overall, I did really enjoy this movie. I'll keep this review fairly short. I won't go on. There's a couple other things I could talk about, but they probably get more into spoiler territory. But overall, 2 performances from basically the whole cast. 2 people, really solid jobs. Both, I think, will get Academy Awards attention, at least. And I'm glad that people are going out and seeing this movie. You know, I live in my local theater. You know, we had a home game last night, football. So yeah, there wasn't a whole lot of people in the theater, and I was busy with that, anyways. So I couldn't go see it. So tonight, oh yeah, there were people who turned out tonight, and yeah, most of them were kind of middle-aged or, you know, whatever. And some of them were older because actually Clooney, believe it or not, Clooney, I think I read this somewhere, like Entertainment Weekly or maybe, I'm not sure, don't quote me on that. Entertainment Weekly, don't come after me for spreading false information. But Clooney actually draws in older adult males versus any other demographic. I don't know why. Maybe because middle-aged men back then were watching ER when ER first came on and Clooney was on. Maybe. I don't know. I'm not sure, but yeah, the reason I saw the movie was for the spectacle of it, not necessarily to go see an actor in the movie, but certainly for the spectacle of it. And as far as that goes, I got plenty of spectacle. My eyes were pleased. My brain was pleased with the intelligence of the screenplay, with the intelligence of the acting, and the intelligence of the direction. And overall, I think this is a smart movie. It's kind of a thinker's movie sometimes, and at other times, it's just a flat-out entertaining ride. So with that, I did say earlier that it was getting the same average rating from critics as The Godfather. On my level of criticism, this is no Godfather. But then again, there really is no film like The Godfather. And in terms, at least this year, of pure spectacle and visual effects, adding in and being in place of the story, being at the mercy of a story, you're never going to get something as good as Gravity. So with that, I guess I'll finally sign off like I regularly do. I don't do a whole lot of reviews anymore, but I'm trying to save money because I know there's going to be 100 movies. Not really, but at least a good dozen movies that come out this award season or just this Christmas season that I have saved money for. So with that, keep watching my channel. And go see Gravity. I've heard the reports that this film could get over this opening weekend $50 million. Yes, this is the type of movie that I think that I love to see people going out and seeing. You know, these movies that are extremely intelligent but also have that visual spectacle that will please them, you know. Like Transformers has, of course, the visual effects and the action spectacle that people go to see. You know, Gravity has that. Even if it's on a smaller level, even if the budget is not $200 million like Transformers, it's actually half of that. I think it's $100 million. Even so, that doesn't mean that it should sacrifice the story. And just because Transformers does and Gravity doesn't mean we should skip out on it. So, there you go. Until then, make sure you stay within gravity, everybody.